Welcome back to how to get a job in the UK. And today's lesson is about UK versus international CVs. Now, if you're sitting here and you're from the UK, you might think, well, I should probably skip this lesson because it's not really for me. You may be wrong. That's not necessarily the case because I will be talking about how a UK CV, a UK style CV should be like, and also how they compare to international ones. So you should still follow along. So the differences, we talked about the CV differences and the cover letters as well, common mistakes that people do, and then the fixes. First of all, the format of the CV, the length. This is probably the main difference between a UK CV and other countries' CVs. I've received hundreds of CVs that are from international people that are 10 pages long or even more. And for them, they are really good for their country. I mean, they have really good jobs, really good income and career and everything. But their CVs compared to UK one is terrible. A typical CV should be 2 pages max. Or, well, it's 2 pages max depending on the role. I would actually change that so I don't confuse people. It should be 2 to 5, I would say, because it depends on the role. And when I say role, I mean the level, especially. If it's an entry level role, you just graduated, for example, and you just want to get a foot into the market or in the field, then I would say 2, maybe even 3 pages is good. But any longer than that, anything more? No. Right. It says there, even for experienced candidate, that's actually wrong. So I do apologize about that. But I'll just delete that. I don't know why I thought, well, I was thinking of doing that. But anyway, but international CVs you say in Europe and other continents as well, they may be longer or include more personal details. Keeping it concise increases recruiter attention. So they need to be concise, they need to be compressed into the main things, the main roles, the main skills. So 2 to 3 pages for an entry level role, 3 to 4 for a mid level role, and then 4 to 5 for this is beyond senior level actually. So I would actually argue even mid to senior roles is 3 to 4 pages, but then it's 4 to 5, maybe even 6 pages for executive roles. When I say executive roles, I mean roles like CEO, COO, head of department, things like that, where you are one of the main decision makers in the company. And this is typically for large companies. And then the structure. UK recruiters prefer clear headings, personal details, profile, skills, experience, education. That's it, really. Okay, personal details, profile, skills, experience, education. And you could also have, hobbies and interests. That's fine too. But it's not a necessity. So avoid unnecessary photos, birthdays, or marital status, which are often included in international CVs, but not in the UK. Yes. So UK CVs, they don't have pictures. Unless you apply for a role where you're going to do, modeling, for example, or to become an actor, where your facial presence is very important. But even then, typically they don't send CVs anyway. It's more like auditions type of things. So don't include photos. Also birth dates. I mean, it's completely unnecessary information and they could discriminate as well. And, they shouldn't do so, but unfortunately it does happen. But don't include birth dates. If they think that you're too old or too young, they might not hire you for that reason. But then either way, they're going to find out how old you are anyway, because they can just check what year you did your education and your experiences, so they can kind of tell how old you are anyway. But just don't include that as unnecessary information. And your marital status as well. Again, this could be another one where they discriminate, because if they know you're married, they might think, okay, this guy's married, he might have kids as well. This guy's gonna have to go and drop their kids to school, and it's gonna be a mess. Just don't put your marriage status, and they don't have a right to ask you in the interview if you're married or not as well. So don't mention marriage, right? You can do that after, when you get the job. That's fine, but before that, just don't mention it. Okay, but these are, like it says here, included international CVs, but not in the UK ones. Okay, just don't have that. So compare your CV if you're an international person, or even a UK one. Compare your CV against UK site template, and reformat headings, remove non-essential personal information, and shorten it to 2 pages if necessary, or like I said, 2 to 5, depending on the level of the role. Okay, so do so. And then the content. Profile focus. So UK CVs highlight achievements and results, not just duties. Okay, you can't just say in your experience section that you did this or I did that. International CVs sometimes focus more on responsibilities, show measurable impact to appear UK employers. Okay, you need to show measurable impact. Okay, bring in results, solutions, problem solving, what you did, how you did it, like we have been talking about. So mention achievements and results in your experience, highlight them. And then in the skills section, UK recruiters like skills tailored to the job and evidence of application. Okay, the skills need to be tailored to the job. Remove all unnecessary skills. Any unnecessary skills that doesn't apply to the job, just delete them. Delete them, don't have them there. And then, of course, you show that you have these skills in the application, in your CV, in your experience section specifically. You can also add those or you should add them in the personal summary as well. But in the personal summary, mention the big ones, the big 2 or 3 ones in there. Okay, generic lists are less effective than showing how skills were used to achieve results. Yeah, so again, generic ones, just don't include them in the skills section, because they are irrelevant to the job. So if you rewrite it to 2-3 bullet points in your CV, so look into your CV, look at your section, your skills section, and focus on the achievements with measurable outcomes, aligning them with the UK expectations. And the skills should be between 5 to 10 skills bullet points as well. Again, depending on the role, the level of the role. The higher the level is, the more skills you should have. But 5 is good well for a junior and mid-level roles. And again, with the cover letter, it's the exact same principle, really. UK cover letters are formal but concise, typically 3-4 short paragraphs or 1 page. Okay? They focus on matching your skills to the role and showing interest in the company. Avoid overly personal narratives, common in some international letters. Again, in the cover letter, it needs to be formal but concise, not casual, formal. 1 page long, and they focus on matching the skills for the role. Okay, you need to mention that the skills that you have in the cover letter, and also show interest in the company, as well as the why, like we mentioned in the previous lesson. The why you. Start with a strong hook, include 1-2 examples of achievements, and end with a confident statement of interest. UK letters are direct and results oriented, rather than purely motivational. So you need to have results in your cover letter as well. So if you take action now here, review your existing cover letter and rewrite 1 paragraph to be concise, results focused, and tailored to the UK employer. So we do just quickly here. Go back to the cover letter that we created. And we can just add this here. Review the existing cover letter and rewrite one paragraph to be concise. Let's actually a first paragraph and just paste it there and see what happens here. And then we can compare them to the previous one. So here is showing, I'm very excited to be applying for the accounting manager position at UK Healthcare Group. This role strongly aligns with my experience, professional background, and general interest in working with a high-quality, patient-focused healthcare organization. Okay, and then here, I'm writing to apply for the accounting manager position at Akessa Healthcare Group as a qualified accountant with strong management accounting experience with fast-paced, regulated environments. I bring a proven track record, right? So here we mention results, evidence, month-end reporting, insightful financial analysis, and robust financial controls to support senior management decision-making and operational performance. Right, this is good. However, it doesn't show excitement, so we need to tweak that a bit. But you get the point. You need to make it into a UK-style version, which is result and direct driven.
And then the common mistakes that people make.
They over-personalize the cover letter or the CV. International letters often include excessive personal details or hobbies. UK recruiters focus on professional relevance. Remove anything that doesn't support your fit for the role. Now, having personal data, like when we say personal data, I mean specifically interests and hobbies. It's fine to have them in your CV. It's completely fine. However, if this hobbies and interests are, vague or not really necessarily relevant to the role, then make it short. Okay, don't make essays or paragraphs about it. Just make it short. For example, I enjoy playing football, for example. That's it. They're not going to read that anyway, but just add it there it just makes you more of a human, let's say, if that makes sense. Because they want to hire a human. They want to hire someone they're going to enjoy working with. Right? So just add, short, brief interest and hobby. Don't go into details. There's no need for that. Letters that are too long are ignored. Keep concise while demonstrating value. UK recruiters expect 1 page maximum. Yeah, so the cover letter, 1 page maximum, that's it. Don't go beyond that. Okay, they're not going to read all of that. So just make it 1 page and that's it. International letters are a bit different. They can be longer, but for now we focus on the UK ones. So just make it 1 page, that's it. That makes it easier for you as well. So edit your cover letter to remove non-relevant personal info and check that it fits on 1 page. Make every sentence count. So if you got a cover letter and it's way more than 1 page, or more than 1 page, remove any non-relevant personal info. So for example, if you mention anything else, like got nothing to do with the role, remove that first. And if you think you have anything like an extra information that's not really necessary, nothing to do with the role or kind of weak, just remove it and just concise it, just compress it a bit. Terminology as well. That's very important. We have the American English and then British English are a bit different sometimes. So use UK in your spelling terminology. For example, organization with an S. That's the UK version. And we also have the American version, which is organization with a Z. They are pronounced the same. Organization. But
I mean, technically speaking, in the British English,
organization with a Z is actually a spelling mistake. So, you need to make sure that the terminology are for UK. Same with the curriculum vitae as well, which stands for CV. We say CV here in the UK. In the US, they say resume. And then we have holiday, they say vacation. So if you use the correct terminologies, it signals attention to detail, which is one of the main skills or common skills that people want. And it also shows cultural fit. Culture is very important with work culture. If you can fit into good work culture, so you have the same mindset like your employer, then that's cultural fit, work cultural fit, basically. If you can fit into their mindset, I mean, that just gives you an advantage in the application. So, but you need to be able to show that. And one of those ways is these terminologies. Salary and personal info. Avoid including salary expectations. Yes. I've seen so many CVs for some reason, even people from the UK, they put down their salary expectations for some reason. Don't do that. Salary expectation is something you include after you get offered the actual salary. You don't even mention salary expectation in your interview unless they ask for one. So, and which I'll be talking about when it comes to interview preparations and interviews. Just don't have that in the CV. It's gonna make them think that the main thing that you think of is money or salary. And they also put that in the top as well, so that the first thing they read is the salary expectation. And they're like, no. And again, photos, don't include that, date of birth, marital status, unless specifically requested, which is very rare. UK recruiters generally consider this irrelevant. Yes. So again, go through your CV, cover letter now, adjust the spelling. If you have words like organization with a Z, for example, change those, look it up on Google as well, see if could actually copy. If you go to the cover letter that we have, and this is very simple and a quick fix. You can just copy, or just say this: rewrite the cover letter to make sure it is using UK or British terminology. Right? No US phrasing here, says. And this way we'll make sure they use that. Okay? It's actually very important. Some employers, they actually care about that. So the next steps then, ensure your UK CV, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile all tell the same story. Using local style and terminology is very important. Application readiness. After localization, your CV and cover letter will be properly formatted and tailored to UK expectations, improving your chance of passing both ATS and human screening. And I noticed this actually should be localized with an S, but I remember when I wrote it down, my PowerPoint is in the US settings, so I just did that by itself. That should be an S. But anyway, it's going to, when your application is easy to read, formatted well, tailored to the UK expectation and the role, it's going to improve your chance of passing both ATS and human screening as well. So do you remember the ATS software that I talked about? It's going to go through that and increase your chance of get passed. And then also human screening as well, which will lead to an interview. So finalize one CV and cover letter in UK style today. Save them as professional files ready for submission. So when you rewrite these, make sure they are in the correct UK format. right? No photos, no salary expectation, or the terminology correct, all that. Save it somewhere, and then have it ready to submit them. So basically what we did, we talked about the differences in CV and UK styles, the international UK CV styles, and why they're important. Cover letters as well, same principle, they needs to be the same. Avoid irrelevant personal information, like we mentioned what those were, the personal information that are relevant. Localize language and format. Right, use the right terminology, use the right format, so 1 page cover letter, 3-4 paragraphs, and that's it. Simple. It's not a big topic, but it's very important to know. Right? If you're enjoying this course, which I hope you're doing, and you are learning a lot, you can always book a free one-to-one UK job strategy call with me. Just by copy this URL, and what I will do is I'll be discussing how I can help you find a job in the UK, what to do, when to do it, and all that. And it's completely for free. So you got nothing to lose, really.
Okay, thank you. Bye.